When CL first unveiled its Naxtra sodium-ion battery alongside Freevoid dual power and Shenzhen super-fast charging batteries during its SuperTech Day on April 21, 2025, many were not prepared. Imagine a battery that works both in freezing winter and hot deserts, yet it won't even catch fire. A battery that passed the nail penetration, the high drilling test, the sawing test when it's fully charged, and the voltage is still stable. CL confirmed that Naxtra has officially entered mass production and is expected to ramp up output reportedly starting as early as June 2025, with full-scale manufacturing underway by late 2025. This battery showed a critical shift away from lithium dependence, which is scarce, to tapping into sodium availability and abundance. That means cheaper raw materials, more stable prices, and less geopolitical risk. In fact, in their recent YouTube video, CL claimed Naxtra passenger EV cells could reach 175 watt-hours per kilogram at approximately 10,000 plus cycles, minus 40 to plus 70 degrees Celsius operation, and 500 kilometers range. Experts believed with CL, there would be sodium-ion market growth, probably under $1.5 billion by 2030. To put this in perspective, global EV sales in 2024 alone were worth over $500 billion, and they're expected to double by 2030. If sodium-ion hits even a fraction of that, say 5 to 10%, we're not talking $1.5 billion anymore. We're talking tens of billions. That's the kind of jump Naxtra could trigger if it convinces automakers to switch from lithium to sodium at scale. So, just how safe is CL Naxtra? Well, from what was demonstrated on their YouTube video, it's actually very safe. Their engineers really put it through some extreme safety tests. For example, they did a multi-axis continuous crush test, attacking it from multiple directions. They used a semi-cylindrical crush plate with a 75mm radius and pressed down on the battery along its x-axis until it deformed by about 30%. Then, they did the same on the z-axis, squeezing it to 15% deformation, before moving to the y-axis for another 30%. Yet, even after all of that, the fully charged battery actually remained charged after the multi-axis crushing. It's one thing to design a battery that performs well in ideal lab conditions, but it's another thing entirely to make one that can take this kind of abuse and still remain safe with no explosion. To make sure it's even safer and more reliable, they also ran it through an 8mm temperature resistance needle, a high-speed drilling test, and a sawing test, and still, no fire. When it comes to temperature extremes, Naxtra really thrives working from minus 40 degrees Celsius all the way up to plus 70 degrees. In fact, even at minus 40 degrees and just 10% charge, it can still deliver 90% of its usable power. It also features 5C super fast charging, so you can add 520 kilometers in just 5 minutes. That's honestly a game changer. CL's test shows that Naxtra's sodium-ion chemistry, combined with their engineering design, offers a level of resilience that could, really redefine safety expectations in electric vehicles, heavy-duty transport, and grid storage. Sodium mining has been less environmentally destructive than lithium or cobalt mining. Sodium is also easier and cheaper to recycle, which could make sodium-ion greener over its life cycle. CL can even tap into sodium sources in seawater and mineral deposits like soda ash locally and globally. The best part is, there would be a massive reduction of carbon footprint compared to lithium-ion EVs. Should the EV market brace for the impact? Definitely. This will disrupt the balance because CL's 10,000 plus cycles showed that if used daily, the pack could theoretically last over 25 years, far beyond the typical 8 to 12-year EV lifespan. The crazy part is that the 5C rate, being equal to 520 kilometers in 5 minutes, isn't just faster than Tesla superchargers but about 8 times quicker than current mainstream EVs. At this rate, it could completely rewrite winter EV ownership, as most lithium-ion EVs lose 20 to 40% range in freezing conditions. CL's Naxtra reportedly keeps 90% usable power at minus 40 degrees Celsius. If Naxtra becomes successful, it means more EVs on the road, as it will address major concerns about charging speed costs and range. Aside from EVs, Naxtra would be great for various energy storage uses. CL is also developing Naxtra batteries for heavy-duty trucks, which would reduce cost compared to lead-acid batteries. And because Naxtra's cycle life and safety make it perfect for stationary energy storage, it could quietly dominate the grid market before electric vehicles, like LFP did in China. Who else is in the game? Faradion is pioneering non-aqueous sodium-ion tech, and they are backed by Reliance Industries focusing on mobility and grid storage. There's opportunity for scalability via existing lines. Tiamat also has fast-charging high-power batteries, 5-minute charge, and received 30 million euros for a 5 gigawatt-hour factory by 2029. Their strength is the fact that it can charge in 5 minutes. Natron Energy, being the first U.S. company to produce sodium-ion commercially, hit UL safety standards and is scaling to 24 gigawatt-hours per year by 2028 with a $1.4 billion gigafactory. Heine Battery also released Heising sodium-ion solutions, approximately 165 watt-hours per kilogram, full charge in 20 to 25 minutes, and longevity of about 8,000 cycles. Experts even predicted affordable mass-market potential for Heine Battery. Even Northvolt has developed sodium-ion cells with an energy density of over 160 watt-hours per kilogram, using materials that are pretty abundant. They're really aiming at the energy storage market. But hey, CATL Naxtra is still in the lead with a whopping 175 watt-hours per kilogram. Plus, it offers a range of approximately 500 kilometers and can handle over 10,000 cycles. Quite impressive, right? While CATL's Naxtra battery has earned quite a bit of praise surviving extreme crush, nail penetration and drilling tests without going up in flames, some folks just aren't convinced yet. The skepticism really comes down to one key point. All these tests have been conducted by CATL itself. Some people feel it's just marketing and they won't fully buy into it until a third party steps in to do the testing, not CATL. In fact, it should be individuals who actually put these claims to the test and also see what happens when you overcharge. After all, that's the main reason electric vehicles catch fire. In many cases of EV fires, thermal runaway hasn't been triggered by physical damage, but rather by faults in the charging systems, leading to excessive voltage or heat. It's a real concern that needs to be addressed. So, skeptics believe CATL hasn't shown public footage of deliberate overcharging tests, and, they really want to know whether Naxtra's sodium-ion chemistry can truly stay stable under that condition. More questions, like, shouldn't CATL do short-circuiting between cells in a bigger pack, are being asked. Folks have seen that the single-cell testing was impressive, but, honestly, EV batteries operate in a bigger interconnected pack. That means short circuits between cells or in the pack's bus bars can create cascading heat and failure modes, which is definitely a concern to keep in mind. So, CATL has more work to do. They need to demonstrate what actually happens when, say, a multi-cell pack is shorted. Yes, Naxtra is strong for sodium-ion, but honestly, it's still lower than the best lithium-ion, or even future solid-state cells. This could, possibly limit those ultra-long-range electric vehicles. Will CATL Naxtra be another solid-state battery hype? No, CATL Naxtra is less likely to be another solid-state hype. Solid-state batteries promised huge energy density and safety, but they just didn't push through because they were way too expensive, too hard to make, and, well, they don't last in the real world just yet. Unlike CATL's Naxtra battery that's already in mass production using cheap and abundant sodium, it even works in extreme temperatures, and now it's being slotted right into existing lines. Yes, sodium-ion batteries generally weigh more than lithium-ion for similar energy density, because sodium atoms are heavier and larger, but CATL is countering this by optimizing cell-to-pack integration, reducing structural components, and using advanced lightweight materials in vehicle battery housing. This could be the future of EVs. What if LFP and solid-state batteries double down? Yes, the probability of solid-state battery breakthroughs overtaking sodium-ion if they scale faster is high. The clause is if. It's also worth noting that LFP is already cheap and proven, so Naxtra needs to clearly beat it in cost or performance to convince automakers to switch. Aside from EVs, Naxtra is coming for other sectors. Imagine your drone still flying in intense snow and your laptop lasting 20 years without a battery swap. Or better, your e-bike charging in minutes with no possible explosion. So even if CL doesn't eventually make Naxtra batteries for EVs, they could reach markets that need safe, cheap, cold-tolerant batteries. What's the way forward? CL should answer the questions about overcharging, let third parties perform tests on multi-pack short-circuiting, and then